There are 3 things you need to know about the Inflation Reduction Act, and it is absolutely official. The Inflation Reduction Act was signed by Biden into law. But what does that mean for you as a taxpayer? I want you to stay tuned. While in this video, I am going to be sharing with you 3 things that you really need to understand about this Inflation Reduction Act. Here's the thing. When it was signed into law a couple of weeks ago, there were so many changes that are going to impact me and you. And as you can probably guess, this Inflation Reduction Act was a bill to lower inflation. But is it really going to lower inflation? And if it does, at what cost? One of the things Biden was planning to do is to pay down the government's debt. But first, how is Biden planning to accomplish this goal? And how is it going to impact us? As you know, it takes money to pay down debt. And one of the sources of that money is coming from revenue collected from IRS. That's right, IRS. And this bill is making an investment in IRS. Normally, IRS works with about $12 billion in funding per year. However, this new law that has just passed is giving IRS, wait for it, $80 billion. Can you believe it? That is the most amount of money IRS has received in a long time. And just like anybody getting a lot of money, they may go a little buck wild. Our government hopes that this investing of $80 million is going to bring back $204 billion in revenue. Oh my God! Wow! Can you imagine? Just think about that for a second. And how is this $204 billion in revenue going to affect you? Well, more than half of that $80 billion is going to be used to audit Americans like you and I. That means there's going to be a lot more in audits. Yet, they are not going after the wealthy Americans. Absolutely not. Instead, IRS is coming for you. They're going to target Americans making less than $200,000 per year. Now, some of you may be thinking to yourself, this is not new news. Oh, but in fact, this is big news. In fact, IRS has been targeting low-income Americans for a very long time and leaving the wealthy alone. But now IRS is going to be targeting middle Americans, where most people land. A study that was done literally shows that IRS goes after low-income people 5 times more than they go after individuals making more money. We now know how the IRS is going to be doing this. We now know who the IRS is going to be doing this to: low to mid-size income earners. But why are they going to be doing this? Why is IRS casting now a bigger net than they normally cast? Why? Well, let me tell you why IRS is doing this. IRS is pretty smart. They know that wealthy individuals have a lot more resources, and they know that wealthy individuals are going to fight back. But that's the reason why they're going to target the low to middle class working Americans.
That's not right, is it?
Because they know that most of us have lack of expertise. We don't have the deep pockets, and we don't have the manpower to deal with IRS. The IRS simply does not have enough people to really audit wealthy individuals. So it's much easier for them to go after lower to less sophisticated individuals, people that don't have the complex tax returns, because typically they're not going to have the money or the time to do it. Not all the people IRS will hire over these next few years will be auditors, but the majority of them will be auditors, and they will be collectors.
Money, money, money.
Those auditors will be new hires. And when they are new hires, they're going to be really asking a lot more questions to really prove exactly what's going on in your situation. And even the commissioner of the IRS is talking about they don't have the money to fight these bigger organizations. Sadly, if you make less than $200,000 per year, you could literally be targeted next.
Oh no.
And to be honest, being audited by the IRS is extremely, extremely stressful. It really is. It's not always about the records. It is about going back for years and years looking for receipts, 2 to 4 years. And that can be really stressful. You could be doing perfectly innocent, but IRS will think that you're absolutely guilty. Now, there are things that you can do to avoid being audited. And that is one of the reasons why filling out your tax returns and completing your tax returns every year and providing them as much information as possible when filing is really important. Of course, even if you are innocent, you still have a chance of being audited. It's not always about being innocent or guilty. And unless you know how to defend yourself in an audit, which I never recommend, you could be forced to pay someone a lot of money to represent you in an audit. Or you will be forced to pay a large tax bill and give the IRS everything you have in the bank. And that is why it's so important to really understand these things. It's really important for you to learn how to defend yourself against the IRS. So if you want to learn how to defend yourself against an IRS audit, or against the IRS period, I want you to subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications so I can continue to aid and educate you on what you should be doing to defend yourself against the IRS, always. And if you like this video, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to see you on my next video.